So the LIV guys did a press conference over in Spain today ahead of Valderrama. Why are we talking about it here on Thinking Man Show? Because it's interesting that they were talking about the framework agreement at all. They haven't till now, really. They've said very little about anything until today. And today they mentioned a few things that were interesting. Oh, so what happened? Well, Greg said it was okay to have some comments. And in going out and doing that, guys, three leaders of the tour, DJ, Phil, and Brooks, here's what I'd like you to say. Sergio actually had a couple things to say too, but it was a different press conference. Here's what the boundaries I'd like you to stay within. The top point for today's show, it sounded like a group that's in the driver's seat. So let's link this to our show a few days ago on, is LIV going away? Is LIV dead? Well, no, it's not. There's no reason for LIV to be dead. We'll keep saying that. And these three top players today back that up 100%. Not with their words, but really with their attitude. You can read people's attitude. Did they come out? Were they nervous? Were they excited? Were they feeling like they had to go out and spin? And was there any consternation? Any kind of problems that they seemed to be having? No, none of that. Seemed like three guys that were really focused on the golf course this coming weekend. And the framework agreement. Well, yeah, that's all good. Yeah, we're good. Well, why is everything so good? Is sort of the attitude of the reporters in a nice way. And Phil really took the lead on that question by saying, well, look, everything that Greg has told us in the last year and a half, has come to fruition, was Phil's choice of word. I'll say it's come true. We'll get our OWGR points. We'll get to play in PGA Tour events if you want to do that. It's all good. You'll play in the majors. It's great. The schedule will be great. Everything's going to go just the way we're laying it out for you when we recruited you to come here in the first place. And I'll add to that Phil kind of went out of his way to give Greg a shout out. Greg's been out of the press 100% pretty much because he's not mentioned by name in any of the framework pages or in the press release. Nothing really. And people have begun to speculate. Well, what does that mean? Well, we don't know what that means, truthfully. But Phil went out of his way. Now, is that Phil just being a good guy to Greg and saying, hey, let's not forget Greg? Or is Phil bringing Greg back into the conversation on purpose because Greg's not going anywhere? Don't know. But I think Phil did it on purpose. So read what you want into that, and we'll keep watching that too, because Phil is very well positioned, I think, to know pretty much what's going on as much as anybody at LIV and the communication that LIV has with PIF. Okay, a couple other points here. They were asked, these three guys, do you ever, the framework agreement mentions going back to the PGA Tour if you want to do that, and the future agreements will have rules as to how that might happen. What are your feelings? Do you want to go back? And to a man, they were unequivocal, really. No. Why would we want to go back? And that's such an obvious response. Why would they want to go back? I can't think of a single thing. I mean, you want to play in the majors and become a part of history if you win. You want to make a good living or a great living if you're a superstar. You want to not kill yourself. You want to be able to see your family and not work year-round, far away and when you're away. It's not like a regular job where you go to work and come home at night. No, you're on the road. They all said, no, we love LIV, essentially. We love it here. Brooks was a little more laid back than the other two guys, but DJ was probably the most forthcoming on that answer. Like, this is great. Love LIV. It's only going to get better, said DJ. So an obvious answer, but we'll point it out that that's what we've been saying, and it's the obvious thing, of course. Phil also mentioned that they were expecting this process to take 2 years. And by that, he meant, I forget the word he used exactly. I don't know if he said process, but the process will take 2 years for talks to happen with the PGA Tour and sort of charting a new path forward for global pro golf. And it only took a year and a half. So 6 months quicker than we thought. That's interesting. Does he really think that way, or is he taking a victory lap? I'm going to go with option A. I think they really did think that way. And why would somebody think that way? Phil's not a dumb guy. Greg's not a dumb guy. Why would they think that, yeah, it's 2 years sounds about right? because they have all the money. When you're a startup taking on an incumbent and you have a stack the size of Mount Everest and your opponent has, not a lot in front of them, you're in pretty good shape. And, Phil Mickelson and Greg Norman, let's just pick on them for a second. They know how to set up a golf tournament from a player's point of view. Maybe they're not as good at attracting sponsors and some of the ins and outs behind the ropes kind of thing, or inside the ropes kind of thing, but they certainly know how to set up an event for the players and make the players feel welcome, happy, encouraged, and glad to be there. So if you have an unlimited amount of money, essentially, and a couple of guys or more than that know what they're doing, you're going to create a tour that's fairly attractive or very attractive to players. Then it's just a matter of time to wear down the other side. And that didn't take very long. Phil probably had a pretty good idea where things stood with the tour. So did Greg, actually, with the PGA Tour. So, it only took this long. Great. But that's where we've ended up. I thought it was interesting. Talked to Darkstar earlier today. He's eager to get back. Looks like we're going to get Darkstar back on the show next week, not this week. Parting comment is how nice, I would say, that DJ Brooks and Phil were to their colleagues that play the PGA Tour. They didn't name any names, but their whole attitude was, it's all good. We play on LIV, they play over there. All good. We look forward to them having a better experience because of what we've done over here on LIV with the money that is in the designated events. So that was interesting too. So these guys all look very relaxed, very much in the driver's seat. So that's how we'll leave it today, that these guys feel like they're in the driver's seat, rightly so. It'd be interesting, and we'll keep an eye open for any hints that the PIF or even Yasser Al-Rumayyan himself are in communication directly with the top players, or is Yasser just speaking with Greg and the leadership team? We'll keep an eye open for that, as that would be interesting too. But for today, B-Team is out. We don't charge for our videos. We don't tease you with some of the information and then make you go somewhere else and buy the good stuff. We want to help. So we just give it all to you right here. And if you'd like to maybe give us $1 or $2, that would be awesome. We're on Venmo. It's super easy. Just hit us up there, connect, and whatever you want to do. We love it. We appreciate it.